Well, hey guys, it's been a little while, been a couple of days, I suppose. So it's time for us to get straight back into this. Time to play some more NBA Hangtime on the N64 and to try some of these codes out. So we'll see if we can get this working. It's going to take me just a little second to get this turned on here. And let's see if we can get another one of these codes to work right. I think we're going to try Unlimited Turbo today, so we'll see if it works. Now, I will warn you that if something here doesn't wind up working, that I'm probably just going to go ahead and play through it anyway, because for some reason this emulator doesn't like it when I try to reset everything, which is not a great sign, but so it is. Look, I'm a world record holder already. I haven't even done anything. Alright, so let's see if we can get this done. We're just going to go with probably Seattle again, because why not?
Supersonic. The Seattle Supersonic versus the Toronto.
Alright, let's see if this works.
Here's the tip-off.
And it does, yeah, you can see on the bottom there. So that time it does give us the Unlimited Turbo announcement. So that's kind of what we wanted to see. Now let's see if we can take advantage of it. Well, that didn't do much.
He lays it up. He's lighting it up.
All right, so yeah, it's been an interesting couple of days. What I'm going to do here today, I think, on all of these channels that I've got, is I'm probably just going to put everything up as sort of free to watch. It's been kind of a real, I don't know how to put it, but kind of like a real busy period of time for me from Friday up until really today. And I'm pretty happy to be able to actually get back to, playing and doing cool stuff like this. One thing that I know that I definitely need to do is I need to figure out a good plan for putting together scripted videos as well as everything else. But I think that'll come over time. I think that I've done pretty well here lately. So the next scripted video on this channel is going to be actually review of this game, which is one of the reasons why I want to get to this like as soon as I possibly can and play a little bit around with some of these codes and other things. Now what I really wish I could do is I wish I could do a code that would put me on fire all the time so I didn't have to worry about goaltending, but whatever. There's a different code to get rid of goaltending and stuff like that. I don't know if, at least right now, if I'm going to try to go through all these codes though. I might just try to go through like a couple of these like for now, and then we'll probably do a little bit more with the PlayStation version later on. So, as I've said before, kind of like the purpose... Jeez, man. There we go. Kind of like the purpose of doing this has been mostly to help me get some B-roll established, which is helpful for videos that cover, certain games and stuff like that. Occasionally what I've found myself doing in the past was like trying to play something like really hurriedly right before I was going to make the video. That's actually kind of what happened with the hockey channel. This was, what, Thursday or Friday? I forget which day it was. But I wound up spending a whole bunch of time... let's see if we get bad decision. Yep, bad decision. So you guys were right when you said that that was in this game as well. See, I was wrong. Anyway, the thing that happened, I think it was last Thursday or something like that, is I wound up spending a whole bunch of time trying to play some extra hockey games for some extra footage I wanted to get, and that really kind of threw me totally off my game. And then I had to spend the time actually making the video and putting it together and stuff like that. I don't want to like complain necessarily too much about it because it's all, my own making. Is kind of like, the workflow and stuff that I've put together myself. And to be honest with you, I really enjoy doing it. I'd rather do this than anything else. It just takes a little bit of time is all. So there you go. That's the reason why it's been kind of quiet the last couple of days. I've been trying to get stuff, not just like get stuff caught up, but also try to get ahead a little bit. I keep forgetting I have Unlimited Turbo. I keep like letting go of the turbo button. Anyway, this is alright. This is kind of fun. I would argue that the acclaimed versions of Jam, as much as I dislike them, actually have better codes. I'm not just talking about like play as, Bill Clinton, which is pretty cool, of course. But I'm talking about stuff like, being able to actually like dunk from everywhere and stuff like that. The thing is that I feel like the Midway game was still pretty closely tied with, what Midway's idea was in terms of like challenge for this game and challenge for this series and stuff like that. And I think that in the end that did kind of harm it maybe a little bit. But at the same time, I don't think that anybody was saying like, oh, I'm not going to play, NBA Hangtime because I don't like the codes or something like that. I don't think anyone said that. I think that the bigger problem was that the N64, when this game came out, was not quite as popular and was not in quite as many homes as like the Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis had been. And as we've already seen, the Super Nintendo version of this game is really, really bad. I do like the Genesis version, but the Super Nintendo version of this game is pretty bad. I mean, really is not good. So anyway, there you go. Just like that, we came back. Get in there. Yep.
Got it away in time. No good.
All right. So far, so good. So we're doing okay here so far today. This isn't bad.
Halftime leader is on Kemp.
Depending on how things go with other videos, I'm probably going to try to play some NBA Jam as well today. And there's also a basketball sim that I've been kind of hoping to play that we'll see if I'm able to get to or not. We'll see what happens. It's a little bit later this afternoon right now than I kind of was hoping it would be, but it's all right.
Hawks it home.
And if everything goes according to schedule, which is kind of a frantic schedule, I think, if everything goes to schedule, just missed him. I should start filming the next scripted video for this channel. That was awesome. I should start filming that tomorrow if everything goes right, and I think it'll probably end up going okay.
And it holds out. Sauermeyer crosses it. Finger roll. Incredible.
Anyway, so you probably haven't been able to tell yet, but I've got the plans that I have here for all the stuff that I'm doing have, sort of a regular schedule. I'm trying to figure out good ways to sort of divide up like different topics and stuff. Is mostly in the interest of like stopping myself from going insane, doing the same thing over and over and over again. One of the problems that I've had in the past, I know this mostly through the baseball channel, is that like while I have a lot of fun doing a lot of like deep historical research, the thing is that it takes a lot of time, especially if I'm like looking up something that's like really obscure. It ends up taking a lot of time. It's not always like the most cost-effective way to use your time, right? Because sometimes you're talking about something that doesn't have a whole lot of like actual widespread interest, but you kind of want to cover it anyway for a variety of reasons. And I don't want to like give all that stuff up. So the idea here is, okay, well, let's combine stuff that has a lot more interest with stuff that might be a little bit more specialized, and see if we can't do a little bit of both. And so, for example, like on this channel, my last video was about Wilt scoring 100, and the radio coverage of that, the media coverage and stuff like that. That's mostly because I want to start doing some more videos on the media coverage of different sports and stuff like that. I'm thinking, for example, on this channel, like eventually to do a video talking about, the NBA on NBC and why it's remembered so fondly and all that stuff. It's not just about the announcers. In fact, especially after all that stuff came out about Marv Albert right before the NBA Finals, I think it was in, 98, if I remember right? But after that, I mean, a lot of people kind of lost respect for him, but the NBA and NBC was still really popular. In my opinion, it's mostly because of like the overall package, right? And I mean, if you weren't around back then, you probably don't remember, like watching Inside the NBA right before games and stuff like that. NBC did an excellent job with the NBA. They did a better job with the NBA in the 1990s than they did with Major League Baseball in the 1980s, actually. They did a great job reporting on it as if it were like an actual news broadcast. They did a great job, like emphasizing, the culture of the league and stuff like that. And I mean, it really was a lot of fun back in those days. It's never really been quite the same. So I've been thinking about like doing doing a video talking about some of that stuff, talking as well about like, that was a great shot. Doing a video talking about stuff like, like the sound quality of broadcast, talking about like the video quality and stuff like that. I don't know about you guys, but for me, the ABC, ESPN era that we've had now for like 20 years has been pretty bad. In particular, in the early days, ABC was absolutely guilty of like overly compressing these broadcasts and making it so that you could like not see what was happening. The sound also has always been really bad on these broadcasts. I mean, it's always been, really like muted and made so that you can barely hear what's going on. I know that they're worried about like people saying, swears or something like that. Yeah, and that kind of makes sense to me, but like, you know, for one thing, like, we're living in an era when, you know, like, everybody online is saying, like, whatever it is they want to say, right? I mean, you don't see a whole lot of people, like, trying to censor themselves, you know, thinking of the children or whatever. It's not like the 1980s anymore, you know, and at the same time, like, I mean, you really take a lot away from your broadcast when you don't have a lot of arena sound and it doesn't really feel like you're there and stuff like that. That's where I think the biggest problem comes in. Anyway, so we're going to do a little bit of talking about that. Let's see if I get this trivia question right. Sarunas Markilonis. I have absolutely no idea. I don't really know who that is. So I'm going to guess that. And I was right. University of Vilnius. How about that? So anyway, we win again. That puts our record here at 3-1. We've won 2 in a row. Play Dallas next, and we'll do that some point in time here in the near future. That was a pretty easy game, to be honest with you. I think the Unlimited Turbo probably helped us a lot more than it helped them. And we were down by 9 ending the first quarter. So anyway, that makes me feel pretty good about myself, and you know, says probably good things about our future with this project. Now my hair is totally messed up or whatever. Anyway, so hope you guys are having a good day. I'll talk with you again, if not later on today, then tomorrow certainly, and we'll see you then. Bye.